What's going on, everybody? A little late this evening, later than usual, and somewhat short notice. But it is good to be back, and I wanted to jump back on the mic as quickly as I possibly could after a bit of time away. Got some week 7 start sit help for you guys. Um, I was like, I could just wait until Sunday to do this, but screw it, why not? Let's pop on Sunday night or Saturday night for a little while, see if anybody needs anything, maybe alleviate some of your questions that you guys may have um, ahead of week 7. Appreciate everybody's patience. I know it's been a long couple of weeks. I missed you guys. Hopefully, you guys feel the same way. In case you missed my post, I had a little bit of time off, a little bit of personal time off, and went ahead and got engaged. So it was an exciting time. Appreciate everybody. I'm working through that during the season, but a little bit of time away. Some big stuff happened. Very excited, super pumped, but happy to be back, ready to talk shop with you guys. Um, let's get into it. As always, I will and thank you all. I was in just to quickly uh you know not to toot the horn, but if you ever have the opportunity to go to the Amalfi Coast in Italy, go to the Amalfi Coast. It's an incredible place, beautiful place. Not in the winter. They shut down during the winter, so like those November, December, January months, maybe not. But like that, either beginning of summer or end of summer, it's a good time to go. You can go in the summer, but that's when everybody goes in the summer, so it's like a little more packed. So I was trying to like avoid that time. Anyway, let's talk football. Let's talk football. Real quick, we'll go over the latest injury updates that we have, and then I will take your questions. As always, members will get first priority as far as responses to their questions or comments, regardless of when they are submitted. If you want to jump the line and you're not a member, you can also send a super. That would be another way to get your question answered faster. Oh God, Discord just like popped up on me out of nowhere. Sorry. If you are not a member and you do not send a super, that is okay. I will still answer your questions, but I do ask for some patience as the members and supers will be answered first. Let's see. What do I have for week 7? DeAndre Swift says he will play week 7. That matters. He went off last week, so Swift could be a guy that's on the radar for a lot of folks at running back, especially with bye weeks going on. Let's see, what else do we have here? Darnell Mooney likely to play. That's not inspiring. Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers both seen participating in practice on Friday. However, Bowers is doubtful for tomorrow's contest. With the bye week tomorrow, I'm not really sure. Well, I mean, I guess the Raiders are playing this game. They're playing the division opponent, right? So they're really milking their updates as far as their injury updates. So they're not ruling Bowers out until they absolutely have to, but they're not fooling anybody. He's not going to play. The Raiders' bye week is next week. It's an opportunity for him to get more time off to rest up and get healthy for the second half of the season. I don't know what Jacoby Myers' status is just yet. Let me see if there's any more recent updates. Questionable with both knee and toe injuries. So less than ideal, but we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow morning. Josh Reynolds is off the injury report for week 7. Quinyon Mitchell, Eagles cornerback, not on the injury report for week 7. That presumably helps the Eagles against Justin Jefferson, but Justin Jefferson is still Justin Jefferson, and he's coming off his bye week. Let's see. A lot of Bucks are missing practice and straight up not playing. Let's talk. We'll talk about this as well. Emeka Egbuka, he's the big one. I'll get to him in a second. Chris Godwin is out. Bucky Irving is out. I believe Levante David is out as well. I mean, Bucks defense. Mike Evans. Forgive me. I'm getting Getting caught up. I flew back from Italy today. This is how much I wanted to be here for you guys. I was like, let me get 2 streams in this weekend, not one. So I've been on a plane since like 3 a.m. Italy time. I landed back in California like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 4 hours ago. But your boy needed to eat before I did this, so I'm sure you guys understand. Uh, just making sure that I get caught up here on all of the injuries. Mike Evans is a game time decision. I knew Emeka Egbuka was a game time decision. I'm now seeing Mike Evans is considered a game time decision according to Adam Schefter. That was 8 hours ago. So let me just make sure. Okay, and that's still the case as of the most recent update. Yeah, the Bucks are banged up. Duh. Rashad White is an obvious start. I think Cade Otton is a great streaming option at tight end this week, just because. I mean, who else are we throwing the football to? Sterling Shepard, Cameron Johnson, and that's if Egbuka and Evans can't go. And if they can go, they're both at less than 100%. So Cade Otton I really like as a streaming option at tight end this week. If you have either Evans or Egbuka, I mean, it's kind of straightforward. If you have somebody who is typically comparable to them week to week on your roster who plays on Sunday, the Bucks play on Monday. That's what makes these game time decisions so tricky, so annoying to navigate. Is if you are relying on this dude and then he's out, then you're cooked on Monday night. So here's what you do: if you have Mike Evans, if you have Emeka Egbuka, again, comparable guy already on your roster, just play that guy and play it safe. If you're relying on Egbuka, like you need him, and to be fair, if you have him, you've been relying on him. The guy's been a stud through the first half of his rookie campaign. Sterling Shepard, Cameron Johnson, I mean, whoever else, like, the ancillary wide receivers on the Lions, just to, like, have a live body, a warm body, an active player ready to go. If you are relying on Egbuka, there's not someone of similar expectations that you have available to you. Have those backup plans ready to go. So it's kind of a case-by-case basis on whether you're going to be relying on either of those guys or not. Darius Slayton ruled out, so Wandale and Lil Jordan Humphrey, I guess get the boosts. Mostly Humphrey, I guess, just based on last week's Thursday night game. Not this past one, Steelers Bengals, but Eagles Giants. Let's see. Kyler Murray not expected to start week 7, so it's going to be Jacoby Brissett for another week. He will have Marvin Harrison. He is cleared concussion protocol in a week's time. That's rare these days, so but also a great thing to see. So Marvin Harrison, good to go against the Packers, who apparently were having plane issues taking off to Arizona today, if I saw Schefter's tweet correctly. Do with that what you will. Deebo Samuel is out. We already know Terry McLaurin is out. So Luke McCaffrey is absolutely a viable stream against the Dallas Cowboys, who have been shredded against opposing wide receivers all year. I'm trying to think. Zach Ertz is also questionable with, I think, multiple injuries. So, he's a great stream if he, in fact, goes. But Luke McCaffrey is looking like a really rock-solid option for you at wide receiver if you are looking for some depth options due to injuries. Puka's not playing, multiple players on bye. And then you've got like game time decisions like Egbuka. Like a Luke McCaffrey probably qualifies as like, yeah, I'll just like go with that guy and hope for the best. But we can take it in a case-by-case basis. Christian Kirk is listed out for Monday night. It's yet another double night or double header on Monday night. I feel like there's been a lot of those this year, more than usual. I know they had integrated more Monday night doubleheaders last year. The NFL had. It feels like there's more of them this year. Just throwing it out there. Josh Jacobs is a game time decision for Week 7. He's got an illness and also nursing a calf injury. So that's obviously a big one. If you have Josh Jacobs, if Emmanuel Wilson is out there, he's worth finding. Get him onto your roster. And then, again, I can look at case-by-case situations depending on who your other options are if you have Josh Jacobs. Okay, and Schefter, just 1 minute ago, Brock Bowers is not expected to play Week 7. He will have a good chance to return Week 9 after the Raiders bye. tell us something we don't know. All right. I think that's it. One more piece of information that I just want to make sure everybody's aware of. I posted it in my Discord. If you're not a member of my Discord and you would like to join, it is the second link in the description of this live stream. That is a free evergreen invite. You can join the community over there. Maybe I'm not live streaming. Maybe I'm not available on YouTube, even though I do intend to not take any more 2-week hiatuses over the course of the year. But I will answer questions in Discord as I am available, which I was doing or trying to do during my time off. Okay. All right. We're good to go. Let me see. Piece of information. Cleveland, Miami. The weather is supposed to be rough in Cleveland tomorrow. I believe the last thing I saw was 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Let me see. So that's obviously significant enough to talk about as it pertains to like the passing game and the kicking game, if you were relying on either one of those kickers. So if it's 50-mile-per-hour winds, I mean, Devon Achane, Quinshad Judkins, you can still rock with the running backs. That's not that's not the concern. The concern are the pass catchers. You probably have to ignore this type of stuff when it comes to somebody like Jalen Waddle, but everybody else is super dicey. Like Darren Waller, Harold Fannin. Obviously, if it's super high 50-mile-plus-per-hour wind gusts, those short, quick passes are still somewhat safe, and the tight ends are the guys most likely receive those opportunities. But we're talking, these are significant wind gusts, and we got Dylan Gabriel, who's a rookie, and Tua Tagovailoa, who, in the media for all the wrong reasons. Careful, you probably got to keep him in your lineup. But like anybody else, Jerry Jeudy, who at this point you're probably not relying on, Harold Fannin, David Njoku, even if he goes, Darren Waller, Malik Washington, the ancillary wide receivers, you may want to take them out of your lineup. Might want to take them out of your lineup. Okay, let's get into your guys' questions. First of all, to my members, I see Greg. So far, that Greg's my only member in here. But what's going on, man? Appreciate the congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, it was a fun time. Let's see. What's your situation? Yeah, Garrett Wilson's gonna miss a couple of weeks with the knee injury. Yeah, Ricky Pearsall is out for San Francisco. Jawan Jennings is gonna play, but he's got like 14 injuries that he is nursing right now. So good luck to him. Rolling with Nico and Keenan Allen. Your options are Woody, McCaffrey, Mayer. Yeah, so this is a scenario where it's like I'll probably just take a shot on McCaffrey. No Debo, no Terry McLaurin. Woody Marks, I'm still intrigued by. I don't want to give up on. He didn't have a great game week 5. And he was on bye this past week, week 6. That's right. I was like, what did he do week 6? He was on bye week 6. Yeah, especially if it's half PPR. I think I might still just take a chance on McCaffrey's volume in the most plus matchup that any wide receiver can really have this year, which is against the Dallas Cowboys. I would probably just go ahead and play McCaffrey and just hope for the best. Michael Mayer doesn't do all that much for me. He might if Geno Smith was playing better, but he's not. And then Woody, again, kind of a down week, week 5, bye week, week 6. Maybe, this is the week off for the rookie is good, but like, I'll take McCaffrey and the volume in the best matchup on the slate, which is like any opposing offense against the Cowboys defense. Yeah, I'll take McCaffrey there. Let me see. All right, T-Man, appreciate it. Kamara or Evans in the flex spot. I mean, Yeah, so Evans is a game time decision. I believe Kamara is Kamara on or off the injury report? I know that he was on it, but that might have been somewhat like phantomy because of trade rumors, if I'm remembering that correctly. If Kamara is suiting up, that's probably who I'm going with just because of the uncertainty of Evans. He's okay, great. Kamara's officially good to go. That was reported yesterday. No injury designation, and it's a good matchup by the numbers against the Chicago Bears. It is on the road. I'm not really worried about that for Kamara. I would probably just play Kamara. We just don't know if Evans is gonna play. That's the problem. Um, I mean, game time decision, but is he on the optimistic side of playing? Yeah, it's a hamstring injury, considered a pregame decision. Or yeah, there's more hope for Evans than Igbuka. Yeah, man, I don't want to play this game. That's me. If you need to be aggressive in your matchup, um, and especially if it's PPR, like okay, fine, roll the dice on Evans, but like if you don't feel like the any type of sense of urgency, if you're not in a bad spot either with this matchup or your record in general, I would just play it safe and play Kamara. I would just play Kamara. Like we just don't know. We just don't know if Evans is going to play. I just don't want to roll those dice. Talk Rico. I can talk Rico. I think Rico Dowdle is going to be. Now, I'm not a reporter. I know you guys know that. But Underdog put out on their X account earlier this week that the Panthers had internal discussions about who's going to get the bulk of the carries. The fact that they didn't just come out right and say Chuba's our starter. You know how coaches do that when they are reaffirming like the job security of a player. Maybe this is more of a thing for quarterbacks, but a lot of times like players or coaches will back the player that they name the starter if they're still the starter, and they'll mention it by name. Chuba's still our starter. Chuba's our starter. Chuba's our guy. I don't know if I'm like reading into this too much or maybe the wrong way in general, but the fact that they left it kind of open ended to me means there might be a change in the guard. Rico might be the Panthers' lead back, especially, and that's at least for this week. I'm not declaring it for the rest of the season because they did still pay Chuba, and Chuba's working his way back from an injury. So to me, this isn't finite for the rest of the season, but I would say for at least the next month, certainly the next couple of weeks, even if he has a down game tomorrow, I'm playing Rico. Um, I don't think the Panthers can't go away from him after what he has done the past couple of weeks. And even when they reintegrate Chuba, Rico can still have a role that should be larger than the one he had to start the year. I think he will remain viable for at least the next month. I'm not I'm not killing off Chuba for the season, but for at least the next month, Rico's in my lineup. He is. He looked incredible. How can you get away from him? How can you move away from him if you're Carolina? And just to follow up, the guy that you're playing is in last place. Play it safe. Play Kamara. We'll go with Evans on a case by case basis from there. And yeah, time off. Appreciate asking about how the time off was. I fortunate enough to be able to go to Italy. That was awesome. Proposed to my girlfriend. Life is good. Appreciate all of you again for sticking through the time off, hanging with me again. Um, Always want to make sure I'm available throughout the season. If you ever need anything, if you miss a live stream, or if I'm not streaming, questions can be asked in the form of comments on any YouTube video, any video on the channel, or you can join my Discord. Again, second link in the description of this live stream and all videos and streams on the channel. Okay, let's see. We need 2 wide receivers and a flex in full PPR, and appreciate the congratulations. Worthy, Bourne, Butte, Jordan Whittington, Jordan Mason. Okay, so you don't necessarily need a running back here. That being said, with Aaron Jones still on IR, I think I like Mason here as one of your options just because he's going to get the bulk of the opportunities. And I think Jalen Carter is questionable for Philly. So if he can't go or if he's less than 100%, you know, an already solid matchup becomes even better for Mason. So I may just go ahead and put him in my flex, and not play. This is a bit of like Russian roulette with some of these wide receivers. A couple of them are probably going to have good games, but like guessing which ones is more challenging than like Mason's going to get the carries for Minnesota. So I'll just rock with him in my flex. And then, I mean, Worthy is probably the most talented guy of this group. Like of the wide receivers, that is. He's probably got to be one of your wide receivers. Xavier Worthy probably has to be one of your starting wide receivers, and then like Bourne, great opportunity with no rookie Pearsall. Crap. Who's San Francisco playing? My bad. I should know this because I have many of them. I got it. I just need an app to load. Oh, that's right, Atlanta, Sunday night. That's not a great matchup. It's a home game, but it's not a great matchup. But the opportunity is there, and Kittle is back. Actually, that's another thing. Excuse me for missing that. Tight end George Kittle apparently is not only back for this week for San Francisco, but he will not have any type of snap count or limits. So he's going to play his full allotment of opportunities. At least that's the report. So Bourne is maybe like a little less enticing than he normally would be. But again, Pearsall out. Jennings less than 100%. Maybe just rock with Bourne. He continues to have he's had a couple good games in a row. Yes, Kittle is back, but another game without Pearsall. Yeah, I guess Bourne and Worthy are your two wide receivers, and I would put Mason in as your flex. All right, really quick, just jumping down to Greg, and then I will pop up, to the other questions up at the top of the chat. McCaffrey over. Well, Iomanor is interesting, but I'll take Jaden Daniels throwing the ball to a wide receiver against Cam Ward. It's just a bad situation in Tennessee right now, and that's not a shot at Cam Ward. He's a rookie in a blah situation. I'll take McCaffrey, Jaden Daniels. I'll take that situation. That one's better. And Emmanuel Wilson is only viable if Jacobs can't go. I don't the Packers play in the late window and the Commanders play in the early window. So you're not going to know if Jacobs is out until after the Commanders play. So I would probably just play McCaffrey. Luke McCaffrey, that is. Oh, no, they do play. Okay, sorry. Commanders Cowboys is in the late window. So you'll know if Jacobs is out. Still Luke McCaffrey. I'll take the wide receiver, Greg. I'll take the wide receiver. Yeah, I'll take Luke McCaffrey. Let's see. Jacobs. So I got to the Jacobs stuff. Game time decision. I mean, it's straightforward with Jacobs. Make sure if you don't have Emmanuel Wilson and he's available, get him. If he's not available, name me your other options, because Jacobs is the type of dude where if he plays, he's in my lineup. But you have more options available to you, at least with the late window, Sunday night and Monday night, to cover for Jacobs if he can't go, as opposed to, say, an Emeka Egbuka who's playing on Monday night and you're down to only like some ancillary wide receivers across three other teams. So, that's the situation with Jacobs. You play him if he's in. Grab Emmanuel Wilson if you can. Drop anybody for him. You're the last guy on your bench, obviously. Not just anybody. Just the last guy on your bench. Whoever that is, and you have Josh Jacobs, drop the last guy on your bench to add Emmanuel Wilson. And if he's not available, let me know who your other options are. So, Fannin or Kelsey, yeah, I probably am going to avoid the Cleveland-Miami game tomorrow. I don't really like the high 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. Fannin is enticing, and with Njoku potentially missing this game if he hasn't been ruled out already outright, I like Fannin a lot, but 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, I kind of don't want to mess around with that with a rookie to rookie connection. That's just, that's that's tough. That's a bigger factor than I think, you know, that we need to give credit to versus like a neutral situation. So I'll just take Kelsey because he's not playing in that windstorm. I'll take Kelsey. Let's see. Nico, Rice, DK, Kittle. Keep two players, Jennings, Fan, and Waller. So keep is a question to keep two of those three, Jennings, Fan, and Waller. I assume that's the answer because you probably played DK and you're playing Nico, Rice, and Kittle. Yeah. So Fannin and Waller are in this freaking windstorm. They're in this stupid freaking windstorm where we're potentially dealing with 50 to 60-mile-per-hour winds. So this is for everybody. If anybody has I see a couple questions like leaking in about like or popping in about Fannin or Waller. Just keep in mind this windstorm that is potentially happening in Cleveland. Like, we can't just talk about these guys in a vacuum compared to every other week. The weather matters here. 20-mile-per-hour winds, it's like, all right, fine, they can deal with that. But like 50 to 60-mile-per-hour winds, that's a storm. Like, those are intense winds. It's not going to take much for the ball to just like zoom, like wrong way, like, you know, or it's going to be a bad looking throw. Like, just the wind's going to take it. Forget about the kickers in that game, by the way. Not that you probably were using either one of them, but just food for thought for down the line. Other you know, down the line in the fantasy playoffs, we see weather become more and more of a factor when it gets cold. Something to think about. This is a good practice run for that. Yeah, I'll play Jalen Waddle, but like Fannin and Waller, they both make me nervous in this game. So I guess by nature of the beast, I'll say play Jennings. I don't feel great about him either, given all the injuries that he's nursing, but at least the weather conditions are not as severe, and Ricky Pearsall is out and he's in. So, you know, although he has been disappointing, at least he doesn't have the weather working against him. And then between those two tight ends, I mean, Fannin, No Njoku, that's probably where I would go. That's probably where, and he's at least at home for whatever that's worth. I guess Jennings, I don't feel great about it, but no weather. And then I guess Fannin because he's at home, and potentially No Njoku. I need to find out if this is actually what his real status is. Oh, yeah, he's out. He's officially ruled out. I thought I saw that it was unlikely he would go, but I missed that he was actually ruled out. So, yeah, I'll take Fannin over Waller. And okay, yeah, the Jacobs. Yeah, I got to Jacobs late. He was one of the later. I go from like the earliest updates to the most recent updates. I finish with the most recent updates. So that's why Jacobs was like kind of further down the list. So yeah, if you have Emmanuel Wilson, you can take a shot on him. I guess in a vacuum, if you don't have Josh Jacobs, but you did pick up Emmanuel Wilson, you can take that shot. But I would prefer it be like him versus another dude playing in the 425 window or later, so that I know definitively whether Jacobs is playing or not, and then I can decide how much do I want to play Emmanuel Wilson. But it's not a bad idea to have him on hand, even if you don't have Jacobs. Beat the Jacobs owner to the punch. That's also fine. Really quick, Greg, you're good. Um, Someone dropped Shepard. So here's the other, here's that other like kind of side of that coin of like playing Sterling Shepard is what if Evans plays, and he still might be less than 100%, but like what if he goes? What if he ends up playing? So Sterling Shepard's a little like that's tougher to trust. We know Luke McCaffrey's going to have a full role out of necessity, so I would probably just play McCaffrey. In a vacuum, I'd rather play Sterling Shepard, but the Monday night situation with Mike Evans potentially playing is like, that's the other side of that coin as far as do I play Sterling Shepard. I'll take Luke McCaffrey, who I know will have a full role against Dallas. No Terry, no Debo. Okay. Do you start Stevenson or Hawkinson in the flex? I don't trust Ramondre Stevenson, but the Patriots seem to. So I'll play Ramondre Stevenson in a great matchup against Tennessee. Hawkinson, he had one game. I think it was in week 3 or 4. Got a garbage time touchdown. Counts for fantasy, which is great. That's all well and good. I think it was week 3. Um, but, it took garbage time for Hawkinson to salvage one tight end, one performance so far. Um, and again, I think something that I feel like is being discounted is Minnesota's offensive line is is in shambles right now. They've got a lot of injuries. Their starting center is on injured reserve. Both of their tackles are banged up. And then, of course, Wentz is playing and not J.J. McCarthy. Hawkinson needs to stay in a little bit more to help to chip and help block for an injured, banged-up offensive line. So he's kind of making, on top of, not really performing right now, he's also sacrificing, I think, a few extra opportunities because they need him to help stay in with all the injuries on the offensive line. I don't trust T.J. Hawkinson right now. I would play damn near anybody over T.J. Hawkinson at tight end until, one, he shows something, or two, Minnesota gets healthy on the offensive line, and then just by default we can expect him to start having a larger role. Give me Stevenson here. It's a great matchup, and the Patriots refuse to give up on him. And I would not start to that point. Give me Hunter Henry. I don't trust T.J. Hawkinson right now. Yeah, I'll play Hunter Henry over Hawkinson. I'm trying to think what my cutoff is for T.J. Hawkinson. Probably Darren Waller but it's only because of the windstorm. Any other week, I would prefer to play Darren Waller over T.J. Hawkinson. Going on the road, Tua has been not good. The vibes with Miami are atrocious right now. Now you add on to that 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. I don't want to play Waller this week. Take out the 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. I would take him over Hawkinson. But I'm playing, like I mentioned, Cade Otton, great streaming option with all the Bucs injuries at tight end. I would play him over Hawkinson. I might, Evan Ingram, I guess, is the Jonnu. Well, Jonnu already played. Chig Okonkwo. I guess I'd play Hawkinson over him. That's about it. I'm playing almost everybody over Hawkinson. Do you risk it and start Mike Evans? So, I guess I should also say, these questions are also something of their own vacuum. What is your situation when you say should I risk it? Are you in good shape? Is your record 4-2 or better? And you can play it safe. Maybe take the safe option. Are you 1-5? Hopefully you're not winless, but if you're winless or 1-5 and you're screw it, I don't have great options outside of Mike Evans, I might as well swing for the fences with Evans because I need to, I need wins anyway, so I'll believe and go with my best players. Then maybe you play Evans. But if you're I'm fine, even if you're 3-3, 3-3, 4-2, 5-1, okay, play it safe. You don't need to be aggressive. Obviously, Evans is always going to be the ceiling play, but on a Monday night where he's a game-time decision, those are just situations that we don't have to mess with unless we absolutely have to. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in good shape, 3-3 or better, you're scoring points, you're doing fine, you feel good in the rest of your team, play it safe. But if you – and play it safe, and I guess between those options, I would say Bourne is the safe option. No, once again, no Ricky Pearsall for San Francisco. But if you're I'm 1-5, I'm 0-6, hopefully you're not winless, but there are teams out there that are winless. Or if you're 1-5, record's not great, and you don't love your other viable options, or you don't feel strongly about your chances in your matchup and you need to be aggressive, then play Evans. So it's kind of a case-by-case basis. You're 3-3. Okay, so I guess Are you a favorite in this matchup? Do you feel good about your options, your chances in this particular matchup this week against this opponent? If you feel good about it, then play Bourne. If you feel like you're an underdog and you need to be more aggressive, hold out for Evans. Plan to have Sterling Shepard on speed dial if you can, or somebody else that plays on Monday night if Evans can't go. Henry, Fannin, or Taylor in full PPR. So yeah, I typically really like Fannin. I worry about the wins tomorrow, so I really don't want to go there. Mason Taylor is intriguing just because Garrett Wilson is out and therefore he could soak up a ton of targets. But how much confidence do any of us have in Justin Fields throwing the football? I know it's a good matchup, but like we're getting some ridiculous stat lines for Justin Fields. And I know he just recently played Denver. That's tough. That's tough for anybody. That's not a good matchup. But he's kind of been, and he has delivered, but he's delivered as a garbage time hero. The first half stats, especially throwing the ball, have been gross. So like I don't know that I want to put my eggs in that basket necessarily. I'll probably just go Hunter Henry because Drake May is playing really well right now, and Henry is involved. He's had a couple of down weeks, but that's just the tight end landscape. Weeks 3 and 4, he was a tight end 1. Weeks 5 and 6, a little less so. So it's a little hit and miss, but I'll take the guy who's getting the best quarterback play and is not dealing with weather concerns. So I'll take Hunter Henry. And then as far as Marks, Harvey, Carter, or Bam, Marks had a down week 5, bye week last week. It's kind of like a we'll see. Harvey has the most talent of all of these guys. I guess Carter probably has the best opportunity. It's between Carter or Harvey for me. Carter. I think I would go Carter. He's getting the volume. And Harvey is still seeding work and plenty of it to Dobbins. Last week, I mean, he only had 9 carries, but he had 5 targets. Like that's 14 total opportunities. That's not terrible. And at least he's at home this time. Like it's a home game. I would probably take Carter. Yeah. Henry at tight end, Carter, and then Harvey in that order if you need 2 of those guys. Travion or Mason Taylor. So if this is like full PPR or half PPR, that helps. But I guess I really want to believe in Travion Henderson. It's a great matchup against Tennessee. I trust New England's offense more than I trust the Jets' offense right now. Mason Taylor is strictly in a beautiful spot from an opportunity perspective, but again, and it's a good matchup, but like Justin Fields is he's not throwing the football. And now like without Garrett Wilson, the target share is even more condensed. Defenses can now key on other players that are not, necessarily maybe ready for the spotlight. Mason Taylor's a rookie. And I'm not saying he can't be a good player. Maybe he already is a good player, but like this is not an ideal situation right now. I know Henderson's situation isn't ideal either because the Patriots love to give the ball to Ramondre Stevenson, but I feel like Henderson can break a play tomorrow. It's a great matchup against Tennessee. It's so good. And again, I trust New England's offense more than I trust the Jets' offense right now in a vacuum. So I'll between these 2 options, I'll take the running back. I'll roll the dice on Travion. Brees or Rashee Rice? I mean, I'm all in on Rashee Rice at this point. He's got wide receiver 1 rest of season upside. And again, Brees is good. Like, I like Brees. There's nothing wrong with Brees, and it's a good matchup against Carolina. It's just this Jets, the like, who has worse vibes than the Jets right now, especially on offense? The Dolphins? Like, sometimes it just comes down to that for me. Like, I'll take the Chiefs offense and Patrick Mahomes playing well and now getting the boost that it is Rashee Rice in a huge division game against the Raiders that they should handle their business. I mean, I'll take Rice. If it's standard scoring, like, okay, fine, Brees, but half or full PPR, I would go Rice. We didn't stash him not to play him as soon as he's available, right? Right? Like, I'll there, and that's my last thought here. Forever, because there's a couple spots where I stashed Rashee Rice. We didn't stash him until week 7 to not play him, right? We gotta play him. He's gotta be in your lineup. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Rice has to be in your lineup. Do I like him over? Do I like over Chris Moore? Um, I mean, we're talking like dart throws here, really. Um, what's Moore's situation? He had a good game last week. I missed that. He had the touchdown. He had the three. Okay, he had 3 catches. Um, to Luke's one. Okay. Luke was used more as like the kick returner. 68% of the snaps for Moore. What's McCaffrey's situation? 38%. Okay. So Moore is a little bit more of the full-time player here. But like Luke McCaffrey is like listed ahead of him on the depth chart. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a coin flip, I guess, at this point, Greg, right? Like, the vibe seems to be that McCaffrey's role is increasing. He's going to see more than 40% of the snaps. And, in a great matchup against Dallas, volume, I feel like he could catch a lot. It could be a lot of like PPR points for him. I feel like that's where I would go. We're down to our fourth and fifth wide. Washington's down to their third, fourth, and fifth wide receivers, maybe fourth and fifth, because I think Noah Brown is also out. So, I mean, it's anyone's. And then if Zach Ertz, whether he plays or not, we're down to like options 4, 5, and 6. It's a crapshoot. It truly is. I like the vibes that seem to be that seems to suggest that McCaffrey's going to see increased snaps, increased opportunities. I'll stick with him. I'll stick with Luke, I think. If you want to go Chris Moore, that's fine. It's dart throw versus dart throw, though. Okay, where did I leave off? Yeah, Brees or Rice. I'm going Rice. Luke McCaffrey or Waddle. Yeah, so fair to bring up the situation with the weather. This is where this is a situation, though, where we have to kind of cut off and hope for the best and just bet on the talent. Jalen Waddle is just the straight up significantly better player than Luke McCaffrey. And I know the situation sucks, but I got to bet on the talent here. I got to go Waddle. I understand the concern. Again, because I've been talking about it at length. The weather is severe and significant for Browns Dolphins tomorrow. It's going to impact the game. It's going to impact the offenses. But Jalen Waddle is just like, he's a tier level break is from a talent perspective of where it's like, and with the opportunity, the increased volume with no Tyreek, he's in that level, that pantheon of options where it's like he has reached that territory of like, I gotta play him and just hope for the best. I know the weather sucks, but if it's him or Luke McCaffrey, I gotta play Waddle. One RB, one back, one wide receiver, and 2 flex. So Dowdle is in for me. Um, Dowdle is for sure in for me here. I mean, hell, I guess you could double it up and just play both Panthers running backs. Um, if you think they'll both have an opportunity, I do think Chuba will have a role. I don't know that he necessarily they're not going to completely go away from him, especially now that he's back. They wouldn't put him out there before he's ready to go. You could just double up on your Panthers. DJ Moore is incredibly dicey. I think he's questionable with the injury. Jennings is dicey. Hunter's in the London game. I think I would play both Panthers running backs. I think I would play Charbonnet because the Seahawks continued to give him the football. Whether they should or not is another question, but they do continue to get him involved, and it's a home game. Who's Seattle playing? I know this, or I should know this. I was just talking about it in some capacity earlier. Houston. Houston? Did I know that? Oh yeah, Woody Marks. That's right. He's playing Seattle, and it's a home game for Seattle. It's not a great matchup. Houston's defense is really good for as it pertains to Charbonnet, but I know he has a role here, and at least he's healthy. DJ Moore is questionable to play. Jennings again dealing with a million injuries. I will play Dowdle, Chuba, and Charbonnet, and then. Well, I guess if I do that, then it has to be a wide receiver, right? You can't play Mason Taylor if you play all three running backs. Crap. And you have to start a wide receiver no matter what. Jennings as your wide receiver, and I don't have a ton of faith in that. I guess you could play DJ Moore if DJ Moore is active, but DJ Moore has not been great, and he's definitely he's as banged up, I think, as Jennings is at this point. At least Jennings is off the injury report earlier than DJ Moore. So I guess Jennings is my wide receiver. And then I'll play the three running backs. I'll play Dowdle, I'll play Chuba, and I'll play Charbonnet. Yeah. I kind of wanted to get Mason Taylor in there, but I think I'll play the running backs. Okay, let's see. You have Pearsall and McLaurin that are down this week. You have Butte. So Luke. Okay, yeah, like that guy. You know, Butte or Luke McCaffrey. If you already picked somebody up, like if you like, this is where I kind of stay. It's all about like the ebb and flow, right? If you yourself already picked a player up and you feel you did your own homework, you did your own due diligence, you checked on a guy, you're looking at options, and that's the guy you picked up, to me, I'm like, if it's him versus just another dart throw, let me just keep the guy that I like. I want to stick to my guns, ignore the idiot with the camera pointed at his head. That's me. Go with your own conviction. Like, if you already did some homework on dart throw versus dart throw, I don't want to tell you to shy away from a dart throw with another dart throw, if that makes sense. I would just go with your gut. If your gut was, I'm going to pick up Butte and I'm just going to play him, just roll with that. Like, just roll with that. And I know that's not exactly, like, hard-hitting analysis, but, like, sometimes this stuff is just on gut feel, right? Because we can look at the data all we want, and I'm looking at data and information and stats like in real time while I'm talking to you guys on these live streams all the time. The data doesn't always get it right. We all know this, right? I make wrong calls. I make right calls, but I make wrong calls too. So it's like sometimes it's just gut feel. If you already picked a player up and your alternative is another dart throw, just play the dude that you already picked up. Like, that's how I feel. So I don't feel strongly. There's a scenario where I don't feel strongly about Luke McCaffrey, if that makes sense. Let's see. And Tigley, thank you for the congrats. Appreciate it. It was relaxing, but also I was like, damn, I need to get back on the. I need to talk to my people. I'm not talking football right now in October. It was a weird feeling. It was a great vacation, but it was a weird feeling. So I'm happy to be back. Start both Dobbins and Swift, or risk starting Evans. And then you have to go Otten, you have to go Otten or Tez, but then you have to drop Downs or Golden. So I do like Otten as a streamer this week, but if you already have a starting tight end, I don't want to play another tight end. Like if Otten was the starting tight end that you were leaning on, okay, fine, but I don't want to flex a second tight end. It's just a principle thing. Um, you know, outside of one or two tight ends, the tight end landscape is a weekly landmine. Like sometimes you're gonna avoid, sometimes you're gonna make the right call, and sometimes you're gonna step on the landmine and blow your leg off. Like that's just the tight end landscape in the nicest way that I can say it. So like if you already have your starting tight end, I don't want to worry about Otten. I would just play your two running backs. Um, and again, this is assuming Swift plays. I think there's optimism that he will, and I think he said it himself that he's going to. I'm just double checking. All right, internet's slowing down for me right now. I recall seeing DeAndre Swift from the horse's mouth said he was going to play this week. So I would just play those two running backs. I would just play those two running backs. You're rethinking starting Bill over a Dunze. Yeah, I mean, is I feel like a Dunze is in must start territory at this point. He uh, and Bill is in a great matchup. He's in an outstanding matchup. But DJ Moore is banged up. Um, you know, Rome. I do recall from the Monday night game. I was up at like 5 in the morning watching that. Adunze had a touchdown called off the board because of a stupid illegal formation penalty that 9 times out of 10 doesn't get called. Um, we'd be talking about Adunze in a much more. We're already talking about him positively because he's been great this year. But we would be talking about him even more glowingly if that touchdown would have stood because the catch was great. Um, Meanwhile, what didn't Bill fumble twice last week, or he fumbled at least once? So like there's a rookie like making rookie mistakes that needs to clean up a key element of his game versus a second year wideout that we're the breakout. We're witnessing the breakout in front of our very eyes. I think I would play a Dunze. I think I would play a Dunze. They're getting the Saints. Like nothing particularly scary about that. Obviously Bill is in a great matchup and he should do perfectly fine against Dallas. But I mean, a Dunze rocks, man. He's just freaking good. I would say Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is like a very good RB2 this week. A Dunze is a weekly guy with wide receiver one upside, especially with DJ Moore banged up. Okay. One wide receiver and two flex. Rice, Tet, Sutton, White, Mason. So Rice, again, I'm just we didn't stash. Like I kudos to everybody who waited on Rashee Rice, stashed Rashee Rice, and is in good shape for the stretch run now that he's active. We didn't get here just to get here. Like we didn't stash Rashee Rice for 6 weeks not to fire him up into our starting lineup week 7. Get Rice into your starting lineup, and that's for anybody who has Rashee Rice still on the bench. I'm not waiting. I'm putting him in my lineup by any means necessary. Like we stashed him with a purpose. We're dealing with those 6 weeks to get him into our lineup right away, week 7. Um, I would also play Rashad White with no Bucky Irving and with all of the injuries to Tampa's wide receivers. And Rashad, he's still his same old inefficient self as a runner, but he's getting volume. He can catch the ball. He's not an efficient runner, like I just said, but he's a good upper echelon plus pass catching running back. That is invaluable for fantasy. And with no Bucky Irving, he's going to continue to dominate the opportunities. Give me Rashad White as one of your flexes. And then Tet, Sutton, or Mason in full PPR. They're all perfectly solid options. Ted against the Jets. He gets Sauce Gardner. Okay. And I think that's a road game. It's a road game for Carolina. Sutton gets the Giants. Mason is at home against Philly. I would probably play Mason if Jalen Carter is out. And honestly, I might play him anyway just because Aaron Jones is not going to play for another week, and it's a home game for the Vikings coming off their bye. I might just play Mason. Tet and Sutton are both good options. Like, I wish you could play at least one more of these two guys. But because of the lineup squeeze, I will say Rice has to be in for all the reasons I just mentioned. And then give me Rashad White and give me Jordan Mason. Give me the running backs in your flex spots. Thoughts, and then my thoughts on Rice. Like, I'm like, okay, fine. Here's the is Brian Thomas is he over Rashee Rice? No, I don't think he is. I think the guys I'm starting him over are, it would normally be Puka, but he's out. So I'll say Devontae Adams. CeeDee Lamb is back, so I'm playing CeeDee over him. I'm playing Justin Jefferson over him. I mean, Jamar Chase, you already did play over him, of course. Smith and Jigba, Amon Ra. Like, yep, okay, fine. That might be it. Like, as far as wide receivers, like, I'm starting Rashee Rice, certainly over Mike Evans, who is on the injury report, and we're not sure if he's going to go. I'm starting him over Nico. I'm starting him over any of the Chargers wide receivers. I'm starting him over George Pickens, who has been awesome, but Lamb is back. Drake London might be the cutoff. I'm starting Rashee Rice. Yeah, I'm starting Rice over Brian Thomas. Yes. Again, we stashed him with a purpose. 6 weeks is a long time to go without without investing a strong pick in a player. Generally speaking, you don't draft players that are going to miss the first 6 weeks of the season. That usually because there could be an injury involved or a player of lesser talent who is, suspended. This is not the case. Rashee Rice is that dude with wide receiver 1 upside. This is our moment. We waited for this. We got to this moment to put him into our starting lineup. Start Rashee Rice. Play Rashee Rice. Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. You already played Jamar Chase on Thursday night. Amon Ra, Jackson Smith and Jigba. You want to throw Drake London in there because I think that's a home game. No, that's a road game. Yeah, give me Rashee Rice. He's like my wide receiver 8 or 9 on the week. Okay. Let's see. Trade question. How do I think trading DJ Moore for Rico Dowdle? Yeah. Yes. So again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Rico Dowdle is slam dunk RB1 for the rest of the season for the Carolina Panthers. Chuba is working his way back from an injury, and they did just pay him. I can't imagine the money that Chuba is getting is being paid this year that he's suddenly going to be a 30% snap type of running back behind Rico Dowdle. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think that for the short term, as Chuba works his way back from this injury, Rico will be more of a bell cow, but I don't know that that's going to stay the same all season long. That being said, DJ Moore has already been surpassed by Rome Odunze, and the vibes feel like Luther Burden is not far behind, especially with Moore being less than 100% and being banged up and questionable for this game. I love that move. I love that move. I love getting Rico. I don't know if he's rest of season RB1. But what I do know for week 7, who would I rather start between Rico Dowdle and DJ Moore just to get a win this week? It's Rico, and it's not close. So, yeah, well done. Well done. You have the Rams defense, but also have is that Brian Thomas? Or is that Bears and Jets defense? Let's see. Rams are playing the Jags. I'm sorry. Duh. I'm sorry. They're playing the Jags. I got you. I got it. They're playing the Jags. You have Brian Thomas. Do you play them both? And they could cancel each other out. I'm getting there. I'm a little sleep deprived, but I'm getting there one by one. Um, do you keep the Rams in there in London against Jacksonville, or pick up the Bears against the Saints or the Jets against the Panthers? Bryce Young has been a pretty good quarterback to bet against, like on the road. And so that's to say that the Jets like should be in a solid spot. The Rams are probably like the best overall unit of this group. And sometimes that's just what I like to do is just play the best team. The Jets are also like the Jets defense is also supporting a putrid offense, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that Justin Fields is playing poorly and forcing the Jets defense to either A, be on the field a lot, B, have to defend a couple of short fields, or C, all of the above. Like that is absolutely in play with how bad the Jets offense is right now. So I feel less strongly about the Jets defense because of that. And then with the Bears, they're in a good spot against the Saints. I can't knock you for wanting to stream them if you want to keep the Rams out of your lineup because of Brian Thomas. That being said, the Rams are the objectively better unit than the Chicago Bears. And sometimes that's what I like to bet on. Another good thing to bet on when it comes to defenses is who do you think is going to win the game? Who do you think is just going to win the game? Do you think the Bears are going to beat the Saints? That probably means that the Bears are playing with a lead in the second half. Therefore, they can tee off, apply more pressure, force the defense into making more mistakes on the chances of that going up anyway, and collecting sacks and forcing turnover worthy plays. Bears against the Saints, I guess I feel pretty good about the Bears to be in that situation. The Rams in London against Jacksonville without Puka, I guess I feel less strongly about that. I feel less conviction in that. Yeah, if you want to take the Bears out or take the Rams out for the Bears, that's fine. I would keep the Rams, though, if you can. I don't want to drop the Rams. But you can pick up the Bears. I feel strongly about the Bears beating the Saints and therefore playing with a lead. Yeah, I'm good with that. And then Mason Taylor or Ertz. I would start Ertz, but obviously he's on the injury report, and we don't know if he's going to play. I know that game is a 4:25 Eastern start. I think Mason Taylor and the Jets are playing at 1 o'clock. There's no way this game is a 4:25 game, and it's not. Yeah, I might just play because we don't know if Ertz is going to play. This is a situation where I'm okay playing Mason Taylor because you have your options are a 1 o'clock tight end, a tight end playing at the 1 o'clock East slate versus a tight end who is on the injury report with multiple injuries in the 4:25 slot. So if you bench Mason Taylor and sit and wait for Ertz, and then Ertz is out, it's like you're screwed. So I would just play Mason Taylor. Just keep it straightforward. Play the dude who is healthy, active, and is going to play in the 1 o'clock window. I would tell you to wait for Ertz if they were both in the 4 p.m. window, but they're not. And thanks, Casey Rose. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Sam Darnold or CJ? And you're thinking about benching A.J. Brown for Pittman. Yeah, it's been bad. It's been bad for A.J. Brown. First and foremost, Sam Darnold gets Houston. Stroud, and they're in this game against each other. Stroud is on the other side of it, getting Seattle's defense. I'm trying to think. I tend to like quarterbacks in situations where I think they're going to have to throw the ball because they're going to be trailing. And that would be Stroud. But, like, Darnold has been better. Darnold has been playing better. This is a tough matchup. Houston's got a good defense. Stroud is normally the guy that I would want to play here, but Stroud hasn't been good for fantasy for like a year and a half now. And Darnold is playing pretty good football. Houston has a good defense, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of these guys kind of disappoint tomorrow. But I'll take the dude who's playing pretty well and who's also playing at home. I'll take Darnold. He's playing better than Stroud. And again, he's at home. It's a tough matchup, but being at home kind of helps with that, kind of neutralizes that a little bit. Slight edge. It's not a strong conviction, but slight edge to Darnold over Stroud. As far as A.J. Brown versus Pittman, I mean, it's not hard to understand why, you feel this way. Brown he hasn't been good. And he hasn't come anywhere close to reaching the standard that we expect from a guy like A.J. Brown. Pittman should see an uptick in opportunities because Downs is going to miss the game. I would say if you need to be aggressive, like maybe you're feeling like you're an underdog, you don't love your matchup, you need to kind of swing for the fences, that's A.J. Brown. You're willing to eat another bad performance if you feel like you need to swing for the ceiling, because A.J. Brown's ceiling is still higher than Michael Pittman's on a week-per-week basis. If you think you can play it safe, whether your record is good or you like your chances in this particular matchup, if you think you can play it safe, then it's Pittman. And Pittman is even safer with the increased opportunities that are likely coming his way with Downs being out. Even though he doesn't lead the team in targets, that's Tyler Warren. I'll say Pittman is your safe play, but if you think you need to be aggressive, swing for the fences, potentially eat a low score while chasing, the ceiling play, that's A.J. Brown. That's A.J. Brown. I would not play Luke McCaffrey over either one of those guys. He's an intriguing streamer for sure tomorrow, but these guys are more solidified in their roles, even though A.J. has been disappointing this year. So give me Sam Darnold, and then A.J. is your boom bust play, aggressive play. Pittman is your play it safe play if you think you can play it safe. One flex out of Vidal, Addison, and Pacheco in full PPR. Probably Vidal, right? Probably Vidal, because Hassan Haskins is on the injury report. Vidal popped last week. They do get the Colts. That's an okay matchup. It's not a great matchup, but it's an okay enough matchup, but it's a home game for the Chargers. Vidal took the backfield over last week, and Haskins might not even play. Again, he's on the injury report. I like Addison a lot, and he should be fine at home in the matchup against Philly, but he's his team's number 2 option, not their number 1. I do like Addison, but, he's a number 2 wide receiver. Vidal is the team's starting running back, or that's what it appears to be right now for the Chargers. And then Pacheco he's been, what's he getting? 6 or 7 points a week? Like, that is the boring floor play of boring floor plays. Pacheco does nothing for me at this point. Kareem Hunt would need to, miss time for Pacheco to, come back on the map. I'll go Vidal with Haskins banged up and Addison being, good, but his team's wide receiver 2. You're going against the 6-0 guy. AJ. Yeah, I mean, so that's also in a vacuum. Like, does the guy who's 6-0 have any guys on bye? Does he have any consistent is Derrick Henry or Lamar? I know he hasn't. If he has Lamar, he hasn't had him for a couple weeks. But does he have any Ravens that are on their bye week? Does he have Josh Allen, who he doesn't have this week, or James Cook? You know what I'm saying? Like, Does he have, are any of his heavy hitters on bye this week? Then that changes the 6-0 dynamic a little bit, and then Pittman's still in play. If the answer is no, he has all his guys, he has his cavalry, his regular starting lineup, then yeah, play AJ Brown, swing for the fences. That's just my mindset when playing. If I don't have a top team in the league, my mindset when playing a top team in the league is to swing for the fences, because I'm gonna operate as if I have to shoot for the moon to topple the best team. But it depends on their bye weeks. And then Goddard or Fannin. Goddard. I like Fannin a lot, but Goddard is getting a lot of work, a lot of opportunities. And again, Fannin is dealing tomorrow with wind gusts in the 50 to 60 mile per hour range. The Eagles' offense has been struggling, but Goddard has been fine. I am totally fine with firing up Goddard over Fannin in a good situation for both players. But Fannin is in a significantly worse situation with these 50 to 60 mile per hour projected wind gusts. I will avoid that in favor of Dallas Goedert, who has been playing well and is in the dome. No weather to worry about. Yeah, give me Goddard. And then, okay, he's missing Puka, but he's getting CD back. Damn, how'd he get all these players? Unless this is Dynasty, or he's just made a million trades. I don't know. Okay, so he still has 3 of his top 4 dogs. Well, but then also Jacobs. There you go. See, Jacobs is also on the injury report. He may not have Josh Jacobs. AJ plays in the 1 o'clock window. Pittman plays, I think, in the 4 p.m. window, right? Because they're playing the Chargers. Yeah. Or it's a 4:05 start. Yeah, I mean, I would go AJ. I would probably go AJ because yes, he doesn't have Puka, but he regained CD Lamb. He's got the one of the best, if not the you know best option at running back, or one of the top 2 or 3 options every week in Taylor. If Jacobs is healthy, he's an RB1. And you're not going to know if he's healthy or not, probably until the 4:25 window. I would say, here's my final thoughts here. If we get any information in the morning, in the early window, about Josh Jacobs' availability, that he's not expected to play, then you could plan to play Pittman. But if we don't know anything before the 1 o'clock games kick off about Josh Jacobs' status, play A.J. Brown. Shoot for the fences. Swing for the fences. God damn it. Shoot for the moon, swing for the fences. It has been a long day, okay? I've been traveling since 4 a.m. Italy time. But that's okay. I am here. I'm not making any excuses. All right, start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. So McCaffrey, yes. Judkins, yes. Nico and Rice are your 2 wide receivers. That is definitive. Egbuka is not looking likely to play, or his vibes appear to be on the less optimistic side of 50-50. And you have only 2 wide receiver spots to fill. You have Nico and Rashee Rice to do that. Just play those 2 wide receivers. You've got a lot of really good options at running back. McCaffrey is obvious. I think Judkins is obvious, to be honest. In a great matchup against Miami, where the wind should probably lean to more carries for him. Give me McCaffrey, give me Judkins, give me Rachaad White in the flex on Monday night, with all of the injuries to Tampa's offense in general. Bucky's out, multiple wide receivers. Chris Godwin is out, multiple wide receivers, game time decisions, Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka. Rachaad White should handle as much work as he possibly can. So give me Rachaad White. Dowdle is awesome. You've got enough good options to wait and see if the backfield truly is Rico's currently, even with Chuba's return. And I like Mason, but he's the odd man out here. McCaffrey's not coming out of your lineup. Judkins isn't coming out of your lineup. And at this point, Rashad White isn't either, not until Bucky comes back. Okay. I'm going to shut this down shortly. This was obviously a little like spur of the moment by me. I wanted to get at least a little bit of time with you guys. I will be available again, and I see there's a couple more questions. I promise I will get to them. I will be available again tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, for 2 hours leading up to the Sunday slate. So feel free to come on back if you have new questions, if you want to touch base on existing questions or older questions. I will be available for 2 hours tomorrow, so fear not. Same place, 11 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. Just FYI. But appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out on a later live stream than I usually run. ETN or Swift, or do you take Rico out? I don't really want to take Rico out of my lineup, man. He's like, it might be his backfield. It might be his backfield. I don't think I take him out of your lineup. So it's between ETN and Swift. ETN gets the Rams in London. Swift gets the Saints. That's a pretty damn good. That's a really, really good option. The problem is if Swift happens to miss the game, ETN plays it. This is another situation where like a player is playing in the window before the other option. ETN is playing in the London game, so that's going to be super early. If you don't play ETN and Swift misses, then you're stuck. I need a latest update on DeAndre Swift. What are we working with here? I'm getting an update on Swift. Let's see. He said he was going to play. But like, could he be limited because of this groin injury? I think I would play ETN. There's too many questions. Like Swift could have a huge game against the Saints if he plays, but you're not going to know that until after ETN plays. So I'll play ETN and just hope for the best. And definitely keep Rico in. Okay. Let's see. 2 and 4. You've got some really, really good running backs. Wide receivers and tight ends are hurting a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, I can't bring myself to trade Gibbs. You could trade Jacobs or Javonte. And honestly, you shouldn't really need to package either one with like any other player. You should be able to get a really good wide receiver. The first step is to see because obviously with Pickens, CeeDee Lamb is back, so Pickens lost a little bit of heat potentially. He's not going to necessarily get that dominant wide receiver one target share anymore. Sutton and Ladd are they're good options, but I don't know that you have a wide receiver one right now. So I'm fine with making a move. But you are trading from a position of strength because your strength is running back. That's always going to be something that other teams in your league are going to be interested in. So you can ask for a lot when it comes to trading a stud running back. If you offer Jacobs or Javante or Judkins, obviously there's going to be different tiers available for these guys, but you should be able to get a bona fide wide receiver one. And in the case of Jacobs, I need a wide receiver one plus something else just to sweeten the pot, like an RB3. And maybe I throw you back my wide receiver 5 or 6 to finish the deal. Go to your league mates, check the league mates, check their rosters. Who has a weakness at running back, right? And go from there. Find the team in the league that you are most compatible with your with trades. Right now, the way that this team is currently constructed, you need to find a team in your league who's hurting at running back but has really good wide receivers. So go there first, and then go from there. Do they have really weak receivers, but do they have really weak running backs, but they have like 2 stud wide receivers? Offer Javante for one of those 2 stud wide receivers. And if they come back with Jacobs, you can ask for, like, okay, it's all about negotiating and countering, like, and countering the counter. Like, you can come to a compromise. You can, like, start with a first offer and see where it goes. But offer Javante or Judkins if it's a guy that's like a lower end wide receiver 1 or a high end wide receiver 2. So it all depends after you find a league mate that looks like a suitable trade partner, and then what do they have available to you, and go from there. I don't think you need to worry about like trading for a tight end. Tight ends are more streamable, I would say, and you could even, use any of Pickens or Sutton and Ladd to tip the scales if you're offering a stud running back plus one of those guys to get one of the elites. Amon-Ra, Rashee Rice, Jackson Smith and Jigba. You could try for Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb. It might not happen, but you could try. You're probably not going to get Jamar Chase. Anybody that trades Jamar Chase, why would you do that? But, find a suitable trade partner and go from there. They shouldn't be scared to give you a wide receiver 1 if you're offering them a good running back. Everybody always needs good running backs. Everyone always needs running backs in general, even if they aren't good. Sometimes it's all down to volume. Ramondre or T-Mac? I think I'll take Tet here. I mean, the Patriots seem to really like Ramondre Stevenson, and he does have a great matchup against the Tennessee Titans. But Tet is like, he's getting a wide receiver 1 target share, and he's looking good with it. Like, at some point, the other shoe is going to drop on Ramondre Stevenson and his ball security issues. It's going to happen at some point. Maybe it's not this week since the Titans are so porous against the run, but I feel a little bit more strongly about Tet. Just like Henderson, I know he's still running way ahead of Henderson, but Henderson's going to get involved a little bit enough. I'll take Tet. He's getting the wide receiver 1 target share. I don't know how long that's going to be for Ramondre as far as the RB1 workload. And then Bo Nix or Jackson Dart, don't they play each other this week? I mean, look, Dart is exciting and very intriguing rest of season. I do not want to play him against the Denver Broncos defense. I don't want to play any other than, your usual suspects, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, etc. I don't want to play a quarterback against the Denver Broncos defense. Dart is a rookie. I think that game is in Denver. I just think that's a tough spot for him. I don't feel strongly about the Giants tomorrow and their chances against the Broncos, especially with a rookie going up against that defense. I'll take Bo Nix. I like Dart. He looks good. I don't want to play. I don't want to play Dart against the Denver Broncos. What's going on, Sport Dog? Good to see you. Keenan Allen, JMO, Shaheed, Kamara, Vidal, and Bourne are options for 2 flex spots. Yeah, nice job playing Warren. He did quite well on Thursday night against the Bengals. I think Vidal needs to be one of those flex spots. I mean, Hassan Haskins is on the injury report, questionable to play. And even if he wasn't on the injury report, Vidal took that backfield over last week. I'll take Vidal as one of your 2 options. And then honestly, like between like JMO should have a good game. Kamara should have a good game. Kendrick Bourne should have a solid day. Shaheed, I like Shaheed and his matchup. I would probably take Kamara. Just go with the volume, and it's a good matchup. The Bears defense, they do give up a decent number of points to opposing running backs. Kamara should catch a lot of passes tomorrow, assuming the Saints are trailing once again against the Bears. And even if they're not, Kamara is the focal point of their offense and pretty much everything they want to do. Yeah, I'll take Vidal and Kamara. I'll use those two running backs as your 2 flex spots. You have good options. You have good wide receivers on your bench. Somebody's bound to do really well tomorrow. That's just the unfortunate nature of having lots of bench spots. And 8 teams, that's like a lot of teams are going to look really strong. So it's like you only have so many options available to you for your starting lineup. But you have good running backs with Vidal and Kamara. I'll take those 2 from an opportunity perspective. Yeah. But you should be in good shape because Warren did well. You have McCaffrey. Should be all right. And then just to come back up to this trade, what do I think about Judkins and Henry for McBride and Tet? If you can do that, I would do that. Because you get a top tight end option, a top 3 tight end option. Tet should have what? Like rest of season appeal of top 20? He's probably got top 20 appeal rest of season. You still have Gibbs, you still have Jacobs, you still have Javonte at running back, and DeAndre Swift just for good measure. You add Tet, you get the best, you get one of the better tight end options. I would prefer a slightly more like difference-making wide receiver, like that's head and shoulders over Sutton and Ladd and Pickens. But if it's Tet plus a massive tight end upgrade in McBride, then yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. If you can pull that off, I'm good with that trade. Worthy, Bourne, or Burden. So I do think the Burden breakout is coming, but I don't know that it's here just yet. I guess if DJ Moore doesn't play, then the chances go up. But right now, we don't know if that's going to happen. So for me, this question is basically Worthy or Bourne. Obviously, Worthy potentially takes a back seat to Rashee Rice tomorrow, but he's still super talented and plays a different role than Rashee Rice does. So maybe he's not that impacted. I guess it might be Kelsey who is more impacted by Rashee Rice's return. That might be now that I'm thinking about it, that might be more of the guy who's impacted, not Worthy. And then Bourne, he's on a nice little 2-game run. Should stay relevant. No Ricky Pearsall, but George Kittle is back. I'll say Worthy. Because even though Rice is back, they play different roles. I think Rice being back potentially impacts Kelsey more than it does Worthy as far as opportunities. And then Bourne, he should be good. He should be fine. No Pearsall, but Jennings is going to play and Kittle is back. So I'll take Worthy. I like Burden. I think we need to wait. I think we need to wait a little bit longer. But the breakout should be. I mean, breakout maybe that's a little much for a rookie, but increased usage and involvement should be on their way for Luther Burden. Pollard, Algier, Luke McCaffrey, or Hunter Henry in full PPR. Pollard gets the New England Patriots. Algier gets it's on Sunday night, the 49ers. Yeah. McCaffrey, of course, gets the Cowboys. Let's see. So Pollard is now officially in a timeshare with Tajay Spears. Not a great matchup, not a terrible matchup. Algier gets the 49ers, who just lost Fred Warner for the season. So their defense continues to take some significant hits. That game is in San Francisco, right? Yeah, it is. I would feel better about Algier if I felt more strongly about the Falcons winning that game, and they might, but it is a road game, and so it's less of a certainty. So I don't know about Algier. Man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I might say Hunter Henry. Like, he's regularly involved. Ugh, it's a tight, like, but again, I'm like, am I starting a tight end? Am I really starting a tight end? Like in the flex. And then Luke McCaffrey again is a dart throw. I will say Pollard is a boring floor option, but his upside has evaporated with the return of Tajay Spears. But at least I know he'll have a consistent role. Something of a consistent role. That's a safe-ish play. If you need to swing for the fences, I guess it would actually be McCaffrey, now that I think about it. I almost said Hunter Henry. And yes, he's had 2 tight end 1 performances on the season. Man, I go back and forth on guys like Hunter Henry or Luke McCaffrey. I think my answer is McCaffrey. He feels less volatile because he's going to start at wide receiver. The vibes are that he's going to see increased usage, increased snaps, increased opportunities this week compared to last week. I'll take McCaffrey here as this like aggressive upside play. To be clear, if you think you can play it safe, maybe you go Pollard. If you need to swing for the fences on a dart throw, I would say go McCaffrey. I would like Algier, but they're not at home. I would feel more strongly about Algier if I felt strongly that the Falcons were going to win the football game, because the Falcons use Tyler Algier as their closer in the fourth quarter. I just don't know how strongly I feel that they'll have the lead in the fourth quarter on the road. Let's see. You have London and Pickens in your starting lineup. Yeah, I think I would leave that as is. I think I would leave that as is. Like, Pickens has been great. I know CeeDee Lamb is back, but he's a tier level. He's a talent of like break above these other guys. And again, I like playing CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, etc., because the Cowboys defense gives up lots of points, and therefore they need to stay aggressive throwing the ball. So I don't think Pickens opportunities isn't going anywhere just because CeeDee is back. Give me London, give me Pickens as your 2 wide receivers. I'm glad that I've been able to help out so far. Hopefully that continues. And then a running back, a wide receiver, and a flex between Keenan, Hollywood, not not with Rishi Rice back and Xavier Worthy back. Not well, Worthy's not back, but he's playing. But now Rishi Rice is back, so Hollywood's going to take a back seat. Burden, Charbonnet, Tootin, Monungai, Pollard, and Wandale. I will say Keenan here as a wide receiver. Keenan is definitely my wide receiver. And then, obviously, Monungai is a little bit more interesting if DeAndre Swift doesn't play. Excuse me. Pollard is kind of a boring option. Charbonnet. The team does like going to Charbonnet. Seattle seems to like going to Charbonnet, and while it's a tougher matchup against Houston, it is a home game. And then Tootin, he's way behind. He's way behind ETN on the depth chart, so we can't play him. I think I would play Charbonnet as my running back. I would play Keenan Allen as my wide receiver. If DeAndre Swift is out, I would play Monungai, but if he is active, then I would play Pollard. Okay, so Keenan for sure, Charbonnet for sure, Monungai if DeAndre Swift is out, Pollard if DeAndre Swift plays. That's my answer. Let's see. And then Judkins or Javonte. I mean, I think it has to be Javonte Williams. He's like the RB3 or 4 on the year right now. I like Judkins. I like Judkins a lot, but like I'll take the Cowboys offense over the Browns offense. And Javonte has been awesome. Miles Sanders is done for the year. They're going to continue to feed Javonte as much as he can handle. I think the answer I think it's got to be Javonte. He's like a top 5 running back on the season right now. I like Judkins a lot, but I think it's got to be Javonte. And yeah, Henry's fine to. I will say this, Sport Dog. I do like Cade Otton quite a bit this week as a tight end streamer, just because of all the injuries that Tampa Bay has to their wide receiver core. Godwin is out. I mean, obviously Bucky Irving's not a wide receiver, but he's out, so more opportunities need to go somewhere. Mike Evans game time call could play. Agbuka game time call seems unlikely to play. I do like Cade Otton as a streamer. I will say that, but I don't mind if you want to keep Henry in with the May stack, like that's fine. But I do like Cade Otton as a streamer this week. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities. So if you do want to do that, that's fine with me. If you want to pick up Cade Otton, that's fine with me. All right, friends. I am jet lagged. I need to get some sleep. So I think I'm gonna go do that. But I wanted to make sure I got some time with you guys in my first day back after a small but very rewarding hiatus. I will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, taking you right up to kickoff, talking shop on the Sunday slate. You can rehash any questions you had tonight. You can bring new ones. Doesn't matter to me. And we'll get your lineups sorted out before week 7. All right. Appreciate everybody. Thank you, guys. If you need anything, I will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. Hit me with a comment somewhere. Hit me with a comment somewhere if I miss your questions and you need anything that I miss. Really quickly, I'll take this one. I don't trust Judy. I don't really trust Cup at this point. Judy, especially because of those 50-mile-per-hour winds in Cleveland. I'll take the dart throw. Give me Chris Moore. He should play 60-65% of the snaps. No Terry. No Debo. And Burden or Hollywood. Ugh. I don't really want to play either. I'll play Burden if DJ Moore is out. Otherwise, I guess I'll take the shot on Hollywood. Actually, I might just play Burden because even if DJ Moore plays, he's probably less than 100%. I'll take the shot on Burden over Hollywood because Rashee Rice is back for Kansas City. So Hollywood might be on a downward trend. All right, thank you guys. 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. I will be around taking you right up to week 7. Thanks, everybody.